this is good. Okay, what's up, y'all? It is officially Taurus season, so I'm back to do the Teroscope for the beginning of Taurus season, the first 2 weeks, and see what's coming up. I'm going to get right into it because I say that every time, and then I always end up rambling. But I just want to go ahead and get these tarot messages out, and then also the spirit animal. Spirit, thank you for bringing me together with the collective today. I ask you to please allow me to connect with their energies and bring forward any promises that you have for them at this time for the beginning of Taurus season. What is it that we need to know or be aware of, and how can we continue to align our energies with our highest good? Please and thank you, please and thank you, Spirit. We're going to look at the messages for the beginning of Taurus season, so the first 2 weeks. What is coming through for the collective? Three of Wands. Death card. The Knight of Wands. 3 more messages, please and thank you. Two of Swords. Ten of Wands in reverse. And one more. King of Swords. This entire spread is Wands and Swords, except for this one major arcana, which is the Death card coming through here. Let me look at this for just 2 seconds before I get started here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with this Three of Wands. This is the energy that we're coming into Taurus season with, and this is like a energy of like kind of waiting for a certain potential or desire to come through. It feels like at the beginning of Taurus season, like we're kind of excited to put our energy somewhere or for some energetic return of what we're looking forward to. But at the same time, with the Three of Wands, it's a liminal space, so we're kind of waiting. It's like there's something that we're passionate about, and we're waiting for that energy to come in. Let me see if I can get a little bit more information on this Three of Wands, why the Three of Wands coming through for the collective. It definitely feels like we're excited about something. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. This is interesting because both of these cards feel liminal, right? The Wheel of Fortune is also a card about timing, and when it's coming through in the reverse, you generally feel like you're kind of in a if you're talking about like peaks and like valleys, you probably feel like you are in more of a like valley situation with like life circumstances. But at the same time, you know, with the wheel, like there are forces that are turning in the background that are out of our control, that are shifting all the time. You know what I mean? There's a general ebb and flow of life, cycles of ups and downs. And so I think this combination of the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands is really positive for us, because even though we may be feeling like we're still in a like low point, there is still something excited to look forward to. You know what I mean? It's like there's an ability to kind of handle this liminal space with a little bit of, I wouldn't say like downright excitement, but definitely a more general like positive feeling towards what's coming towards us or towards like the future. Moving on, we've got this Death card coming through, and this is what we are healing at the beginning of Taurus season. And this is it, y'all. This is the big like shift, the big transformation, the big purging type energy that's coming through here. Right now, at the beginning of Taurus season, we have a big T-square between Mars, Pluto, and the Sun. And, you know, that's kind of hard to work with. Whenever I think of, like, Mars and, like, Pluto, and, like, fixed signs in general, which we're having this, like, T-square energy, it makes me think of, like, unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, right? Fixed signs don't want to change really, but there's a lot of pressure going on right now for us to kind of like break barriers, you know? A lot of breakthrough energy coming through, a lot of purging energy coming through with this death card. But this is what we're healing at this time, so much needed like shedding of skin going on at this moment. I'm gonna see what else is coming through for with the death card. Why is the death card coming through here for the healing at this time? Well, I think this might be more than one. No, it's just one. So we got the 9 of Cups. Okay. I like that this is coming through because a lot of times readers will refer to the 9 of Cups as like the wish fulfillment card. And I almost never see it like that. On one hand, there is a certain like level of satisfaction and like almost pride that comes through with the 9 of Cups energy. I mean, it just looks like this person is like, you know, sitting pretty and they kind of have everything they want to feel satisfied. But one thing that really comes through for me with this 9 of Cups, it reminds me of that meme. And it's a comic strip of like the dog and he's sitting in the kitchen and there's fire all around him and he's just sitting there like, this is fine, right? There's like a way that you kind of ignore certain things that may be building up until, you know, they break, right? So I think that's what's coming through here with this death card and this 9 of Cups. Like, in a way, we kind of just been acting like we've been fine, or acting like, you know, things have been okay on an emotional level. And in some ways they are, but it's more so like they can be okay because we're not really doing anything about what's going on, right? We're not really paying attention, or we're not really focusing on the actual like emotional shifts that are occurring on the inside, or what things are, you know, actually building up like in a more like negative type of connotation, you know, emotional resentments and, you know, emotional weight. But yeah, there is definitely like a purging that's going on here with the things that we were not I guess willing to put our energy towards like shifting, towards changing, and, you know, really releasing. So moving forward to the sunlight, this is going to be like what successes, achievements that we will be experiencing this first half of Taurus season. We've got this Knight of Wands energy, which is pretty cool. The Knight of Wands is very passionate. This is my ADHD card because it just makes me think of like constantly seeking like that next dopamine hit, that next like source of like pleasure and fun and excitement. It definitely feels like there is a sense of excitement that is coming back to us, that is being reignited at the beginning of Taurus season. But I would say that this, you know, obviously comes through after we are going through this like period of like purging some stagnant things that, you know, weren't necessarily immediate sources of like discomfort, I would say, but they still needed to be worked on, right? They still needed to be focused on. So I want to see what more is coming through with this Knight of Wands, why the Knight of Wands coming through for our success and our achievements at the beginning half of Taurus season. Definitely some passion coming back. We're getting the 2 of Cups in the reverse, which is kind of interesting because typically, you know, the 2 of Cups could be read as some type of emotional, like energetic connection with another person, but it doesn't always have to be someone else. This could be a way that you're like connecting to yourself on a deeper, like intimate emotional level, or with like spirit in general, right? Because the 2 of Cups, it reminds me of that energy of synchronicities and like deja vu, or just spiritual like resonance in general. So with this coming through in the reverse on top of this Knight of Wands is kind of interesting because there is some type of like passionate energy that's returning. and it's being influenced by this Two of Cups in the reverse in some way. So, you know, whether this is like maybe a connection that sort of not necessarily has been shaky, but has not been on the same page lately, I guess, like energetically, that may be causing you to want to like take action, you know, and kind of rekindle that in a particular way. I don't know, seeing this Two of Cups in the reverse and this Nine of Cups definitely is bringing out this Seven of Cups feeling. I would probably say, with the Two of Cups in the reverse on top of this Knight of Wands, that this is probably a relational situation, whether that is, you know, to do with somebody else, like romantically or platonically, you know, or again, you know, with your own relationship to yourself. But there is some way, like, or some imbalance or disconnect type of feeling that is coming through with that relationship that is really causing us to want to take action, right? To want to move and really show up energetically and passionately in regards to this. I want to see what's on the bottom of the deck. On the bottom of the deck, there is this Star card in the reverse. And something that's interesting to me with this Star card is that they've got these two like goblets here, and they're like working with the water in this environment around them. And then, you know, at the same time, like in this Two of Cups card, there's also like two goblets or two cups, two containers that are working with this fluid energy, right? When I see the Star in the reverse, that definitely makes me feel like it's kind of like an energy of like losing faith, or like feeling like your like, dreams or like wishes aren't coming through in a particular way. So the connection that I'm seeing here with this Knight of Wands and the Two and the Star in the reverse is like there is some type of like wishful or hopeful like dream or connection with somebody or something, you know, whether that's outside of you or within yourself, that is really, you're kind of feeling like you are not getting there or it's not coming through for you. And that realization, I guess, that possibly you're not showing up in energetic resonance with that dream or that desire is causing us to, you know, actually get fired up about it again. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to lose it in a way. So, moving forward, we're going to the nature position, or what's grounding us at this time. And we've got the Two of Swords here, which is a curious card to have for the grounding energy, because I don't necessarily think or feel like the Two of Swords is an energy that people want to be in. It's kind of like this feeling of indecisiveness, right? You're kind of caught between two different like logic points. But the thing is with the Two of Swords, often that there is an emotional aspect that is being like ignored here. So honestly, this reminds me of that Nine of Cups once more, where the Nine of Cups is like it's not that they're ignoring this thing because they don't want to look at it, but it's like they're ignoring it because it's not making any waves, you know, it's not challenging them in any particular way. But when you get to the Two of Swords, there is some type of challenge here, because the swords kind of imply that there's a decision that needs to be made, or some type of communication that wants to be had here, and it's not happening, right? Because you're holding yourself back in a particular way, not really paying attention to the emotional shifts that are occurring here. So I don't know, this is the grounding card, so maybe if there are like big emotional like fluctuations here, there is a particular way that we need to ground ourselves in our logic. But I'm going to pull another card to see what more is coming through here with this Two of Swords. Are the Two of Swords here for the collective this first half of Taurus season in the grounding position? What more can we say with this Two of Swords? Eight of Cups in the reverse. Okay. I feel like there is some type of like old emotional baggage possibly that's coming back around in a particular way. Almost like you felt like you were over this or that you had moved on from this, but now like in the present, probably because of I guess the state of like the circumstances around you. Where it's like almost like you're being triggered in a way where you have to make a decision that's kind of reminding you of this former situation, or because of your life circumstances, you're realizing that, you know, whatever this thing was that you thought you had let go of is coming back around, and there's still lingering like feelings or lingering elements of this feeling, and possibly a need to, I guess, like sit within that discomfort with this Two of Swords that's going on here. You know, I'm looking at the water behind this card and I realize that it's stagnant. You know, there's no waves or anything like that. I definitely feel like there is a way that we need to like be able to sit with the discomfort of what is being purged at this time, right? Especially with like the Two of Cups with the Knight of Wands for like our success of the week. It feels like the attention to the like dysregulation or that disconnect is really important to us right now, you know, and instead of, I guess, trying to like ignore it emotionally, there is a need to logically like sit with this feeling because it's coming back, and this time I feel like it's coming back around so that we can like close it out completely, right? Because we do have this death card, which is like Scorpio energy, and whenever I see this Eight of Cups, it also reminds me of like Scorpio energy, you know, just like fixed stagnant water that is being held in place. So yeah, there are emotions that we need to kind of like sit within, you know, and kind of get clear about in the first half of Taurus season. Moving forward to the Serenity position, how we can experience more peace at this time. We've got the Ten of Wands coming through in the reverse. Interesting card to come through for like the peace or the serenity at this time. I think it's funny that this and the Two of Swords are both cards that feel like they have a little bit of strife or difficulty coming through in these positions that are supposed to kind of help keep us stable and keep us, you know, still. But yeah, to have this Ten of Wands coming through in the reverse for the serenity, how we can experience more peace at this time. I really feel like this is a message really to kind of let go of former ways that we show up like energetically, right? The 10 is the end of a cycle, and with Wands, like, it's things that we're passionate about, things that we want to take action on, things that like are fun and exciting for us, but after a while, like, it could become an energetic burden on your shoulders if you're showing up for these things and they don't really feel fun for you anymore, but you're holding on to them for whatever reason. You know, maybe it could have been an obligation, or maybe it's just a way that you have responded to life circumstances up until now. I definitely feel like at this time there may be a sense of overwhelm, or like coming into this period there may have been a sense of overwhelm as far as being able to keep up with like tasks and duties and responsibilities that are like on your plate. I think, yeah, at this time, you know, for the serenity, it's really important to allow ourselves to let certain things like fall, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You can't hold on to everything. You can't keep everything up all the time. If it's overwhelming, or if you don't have the energy or capacity to keep all these things up by yourself, then you kind of have to prioritize what is important, and also like what is truly in resonance with like your desire and what you want. What more can you see with this Ten of Wands coming through in the reverse for the peace at this time? The Hanged Man. Okay. Before I get into this Hanged Man, I think I had only kind of explained one half of this message with this Ten of Wands, because in one hand it could be like a message to definitely like release, but on the other hand it could be like this awareness that's coming through now of what we've been holding on to, right? And kind of getting ready to hit this moment where we're finally ready to release this. This is coming through right underneath this Death card and this Nine of Cups. So definitely it's some way that we are like purging these things. I think the awareness of what we've been holding on to that's not fun anymore is going to help us decide, or have like that discernment on what needs to be let go, what needs to be shed, what needs to be transformed and purged. So the Hangman coming through on top of this Ten of Wands, like I said, is this is a period of needing to be able to sit within the discomfort of ourselves in a way, and a discomfort of, you know, how we have been showing up energetically in regards to our passions and our desires. There's been a lot of like emotional shit that has held us back that we haven't even really realized was holding us back because we weren't paying attention to it. And now what's coming through, like at this moment while we're sitting in this discomfort and kind of having a perspective shift with what is going on with inside of us, like there is that clearness, that clarity that is coming through when we sit long enough to parse through these feelings logically, and really realize why we actually haven't let go of these things, even though we thought that we did, and realize that, you know, instead of actually letting go of these things, we probably just push them behind us. And not necessarily move on autopilot, but I don't know how to kind of explain how we function when we are like suppressing or repressing like trauma. Anyways, yeah, with this Hanged Man coming through for how we can experience more peace, like, hey, Spirit is saying that this is the moment, this is a liminal space, and the purpose of this space is to have a perspective shift, is to be able to sit in the discomfort long enough to learn what you need to learn, understand what you need to understand about why you operate the way you do, and you know what things need to be shed at this time. The Hanged Man, they willingly put themselves in this position for enlightenment. So I think that is the success of this time, and you know how we can experience more peace is to remind ourselves of the purpose of this discomfort. It's in order for you to make a shift. It's in order for you to make that change. All right, so the last card of this spread is the position of Spirit. So this is any message that Spirit wants you to know or be aware of at this time, or possible advice moving forward from here. And we're coming up with the King of Swords. And I do feel like I like this because there is a certain like level of logical like responsibility that's coming through here, especially, you know, in addition to this Two of Swords that we had earlier in the spread, where we're kind of parsing through this information here. Like there's a certain, I guess, level of understanding or mastery that could possibly already be there. You know, it could even be that you already know exactly what things from the past, um, I guess, have caused us to be operating in this way that we are. But yeah, the something about the King of Swords here just feels like very serious when it comes to like our mental like decision making moving forward here. So what more can we say coming through for the advice? Anything that we need to know or be aware of for the first half of Taurus season, or how we can move forward from here? Page of Cups. Yeah. The Moon. Yes. Okay. And then the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying, y'all. We've got this King of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Moon card. I feel like I'm gonna start with the Moon because it's a major, right? The Moon is very mysterious. It's this card that really represents the subconscious emotions and undercurrents like within us, right? They bubble up to the surface and they ask for acknowledgement. And it could be like situations from the past, things that, you know, we're afraid of dealing with and looking at. And, you know, when I see the Moon card, and especially coming through also right underneath this Two of Cups, it just reminds me of, you know, those supernatural moments, like supernatural coincidences, messages that come through in dreams, having deja vu, any of those like synchronistic coincidence moments, right? There's information that our emotions are here to teach us and are here to bring to our awareness. And so when we're having those shifts that are occurring within us, the message is to be curious about them. Be curious about the message that's coming through in our emotional realms, in our emotional world. And then, you know, use our King of Swords logic to just be clear on what is coming up for us, and then, you know, have this Knight of Swords kind of cut out, I guess, those traumas or those fears, or allow us to kind of take action on, you know, these old, like, repressed or stagnant emotions that we haven't really let go of yet. So that's what I'm seeing with the tarot messages for the beginning of Taurus season. It really feels like a moment to, like, purge old feelings, old emotions, and I think that we're excited about it, you know. And it's funny because, you know, coming into this time, I'm sure a lot of us are probably feeling like on the lower end in regards to like life circumstances and life situations and what's happening around us. But I do feel like there is also a inner, like, spiritual or conscious or collective understanding, I should say, that the wheel is turning, that, you know, the time is shifting, and we're coming into a moment now where we're very much so ready to purge some old emotional shit that we've been holding on to for a long time. You know, it kind of makes us function in a way that keeps us held back, you know what I mean? Puts a lot of like energetic burden on our shoulders in whatever regard. But yeah, I think that Taurus season is about sitting in discomfort in order to transform, and in order to finally clear out some emotional karma that makes us heavy, and then we can start anew, right? We can show up in a new way energetically, and also in a way that's like authentic to our personal desire and our personal will. So we're going to get an animal spirit card. So let's have an animal spirit message for the collective. What is coming through? What energy do we need to know, be aware of at this time, or possibly embody for the first half of Taurus season? The fox. Okay. The fox, this is an earth energy. Let's see what the fox has to say for us, you guys. Okay. The fox. Smart, strong partner or mate, wise teacher. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. When in balance, it's magical, ingenious teacher, and it's monogamous. When out of balance, it's sneaky and unsure of their identity. To bring into balance, it says partnership and connection. I think the main message that's coming through for me with this fox in regards to the beginning of Taurus season and this spread that we've got, one, it definitely spoke to, I guess, the dependability of like earth energy and like Taurus energy. It says, you know, when this is in balance, it's monogamous, but it also says that foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term. So I think, yeah, there is a level of needing to commit to this perspective shift that is occurring right now. But then also, it says fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. And that just makes me think of this Two of Cups card. For a lot of us, it really could be like someone outside of us that we love. And, you know, the challenge of this connection is really causing us to show up more. But if this is like a personal thing and this is just you, like this beginning of Taurus season is your opportunity, your chance to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your self-love, so that you can stay true. Stay true to yourself and stay true to the person that you are, separate from like your conditioning or your trauma. You know, it's a reconnection of like your authentic action, or the authentic way that you show up energetically for your desires and for, you know, whatever you want to manifest out of life. So that's what I've got for Taurus season, the first half of Taurus season. I hope that you guys got some messages here with this spread. If this resonates with you, definitely give me a like and kind of drop in the comments like what you're experiencing right now coming into this first half of Taurus season. Subscribe if you want to be notified for future videos coming through. You know, in 2 weeks I'll be doing the second half of Taurus season. Share this if you want to share it. And then, yeah, also check out my other social media handles. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. But honestly, Instagram and YouTube are probably the regular ones that I post to. But yeah, everything is Reckless Abandon Tarot. So this was the first half of Taurus season, y'all. I hope that things go well for you. I hope that you experience a breakthrough and a purging that you desire to go through and experience. And yeah, sending so much love, your way. And I know that moving forward from here, like, we're gonna be able to feel a lot more integrated within ourselves. And I think energy will be able to move forward in a new way. It's gonna be hard because we haven't walked this path before for ourselves, but it's gonna be worth it, and it's gonna be very rewarding to have a really solid sense of self and be able to navigate life on your own terms. So that's what I have for y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.